All right, let's get right into it. We need to talk about a deadline, a really critical one that's putting thousands of the world's biggest companies in a seriously tight spot. Today, we're breaking down the survival guide for what might just be the biggest IT challenge of the entire decade.
You know, the source material for this really sets the stage perfectly with this one line. It's so true. Right at the heart of global business, there's this single, massive, incredibly powerful system that runs, well, pretty much everything. And there it is. That's the core problem, right? This giant who's been sitting comfortably for decades suddenly has to get up and run a marathon. And the deadline is non-negotiable. For our purposes, we're going to call this giant the Fat Boy. And believe me, it's a metaphor that perfectly captures the huge challenge ahead.
So let's properly introduce our Fat Boy. Who is he? Well, it's SAP's core software, the system known as ECC. I want you to think of it as the digital brain, the central nervous system for almost every major corporation you can think of for the last 20 years.
And the scale here, it's just mind-boggling. Get this, 77% of all the world's transaction revenue flows through an SAP system. This isn't just some piece of software, it's a fundamental gear in the world's economic engine. And this number really brings it home for all of us. $16 trillion in consumer purchases. Yeah, trillion with a T. From the car you're driving to the groceries you buy, there is an incredibly high chance SAP was running a critical part of that supply chain. And look at this, it shows you just how total the dominance is. We're talking about 99 of the world's 100 largest companies all relying on this one system. It is so deeply embedded, it's practically part of the foundation, the very definition of mission critical. So here's where the problem really started. We made this giant incredibly powerful, but we also made him incredibly heavy. For 2 decades, companies just kept feeding him. They built millions and millions of lines of custom code right inside SAP, tailoring it to their exact needs. And this created this massive technical debt. It made the system powerful for sure, but also super rigid and almost impossible to upgrade. And that is where the alarm bell starts ringing, loudly. The entire tech world is moving to the cloud, to be more flexible, more agile, and SAP has basically drawn a line in the sand. They're pulling the plug on mainstream support for this old system, forcing absolutely everyone to make a big move. And believe me, that clock is ticking fast. December 31st, 2027, that's when mainstream support just stops. Now, you can pay a lot of money for a couple more years of extended support, but by 2030, you've hit a total dead end. No more updates, no more security patches, the music just stops. And the risks of just doing nothing? Well, they're severe. First off, you're looking at a huge security nightmare with unpatched systems. Second, the entire world of innovation is going to move on without you. You'll be frozen in time. And third, all the experts who know how to keep this old system running, they're retiring, which means the cost just to keep the lights on is going to go through the roof. So right now, every CIO, every CFO who's running SAP is standing at a massive crossroads, and they're facing 3 very different, very high-stakes choices about what to do next. Okay, let's break down these 3 paths. Path 1 is what we'll call life support. You basically hire someone else to maintain the old system. It buys you time, sure, but your innovation is completely frozen. Path 2 is the fitness regime. This is where you migrate to SAP's new system, S/4HANA. You stay in the SAP family, but it's really expensive and a huge disruption to the business. And then there's path 3, swap the athlete. This is a radical move, jumping to a competitor. It's a clean slate, but it's like a corporate heart transplant. Incredibly high risk. Now here's the thing. It doesn't matter which of those 3 paths a company is even thinking about taking. There is one golden rule, one strategy that they absolutely must start doing today. And this is it. This is probably the single most important takeaway from our whole discussion. Stop feeding the fat boy. Every single time your IT team builds a new feature inside that old SAP system, they're just adding more weight. They are actively making that future marathon more expensive and way more complicated. The answer is a simple but powerful idea called the clean core philosophy. It's a rule, a new law of the land. From this moment on, you build nothing new inside your core system. All your new apps, all your new features, they get built on the outside. You keep that core clean, lean, and agile. You can really see the difference here, right? The old way was to just bury all that custom code deep inside the core, creating this tangled, heavy mess. The new clean core way is to build what you need on a modern platform outside of SAP. The new app lives side by side. It talks to the core system, sure, but it stays independent. And that makes all your future upgrades so much easier. Okay, so this clean core diet sounds good in theory, right? But what does it actually look like in the real world? Let's check out a quick case of a company we're gonna call Gasco that actually put this blueprint into action. So Gasco was really smart about this. They didn't try to do it all at once. They started with some quick wins. They built a modern mobile app for their field techs that still talked to the old SAP system. That gave them immediate value with zero disruption. Then they tackled the really heavy stuff, like billing. And finally, once that was done, they moved finance over and retired the old system for good. It was phased, it was smart, it was manageable. And the payoff? The big result? Gasco estimated this whole approach saved them around 30% over 5 years, compared to a big bang traditional migration. Now that is a number that gets any CFO to sit up and pay attention. But here's the key, and this is really important. You don't have to do this alone. I mean, every athlete needs a good trainer, right? Companies tackling this need specialized partners who can bridge that old world of SAP with the new world of the cloud. The right partners have tools and accelerators that make the whole process faster and way less risky. So let's bring it all home. Here's your action plan, starting right now. First, freeze the diet. Effectively immediately, no more custom code inside your old SAP system. Period. Second, start building muscle on the outside. Use modern, low-code platforms for every new app you need. And third, start seriously figuring out your long-term path, because the great news is, all those new apps you're building will survive the journey, no matter which path you choose. Look, that 2027 finish line is drawn in permanent ink. It is not moving. So the question for every single business leader out there is a simple one. Are you already in training? Are you getting your systems lean and ready to compete for the next decade? Or are you still just sitting on the couch, kind of hoping this whole problem just goes away?